Allow me to introduce you to ADAMA.
Atlanta is the Black Mecca. We know this already. We are home to people of African descent and the epicenter of arts and culture.
But where can you go to experience Black art and culture, illuminating the depth and breadth of the African diaspora?
Launched in March 2020 as a museum without walls, ADAMA quickly emerged as a space that is already engaged in communities around the world.
The best part about being a founding member of ADAMA
is knowing that I'm part of making history.
By contributing to ADAMA, you're joining a global community of dreamers and builders,
bringing forth a world-class museum
that highlights the Black global experience.
And it's all happening here.
Right here.
Right here.
Right here, right now.
Right here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Join us.
Give.
And get involved.
ADAMA.
Good afternoon. I'm Janice Bond, culture producer, gallerist. I'm here in Houston, Texas, and welcome to the last ADAMA Art Salon for the year. It's been great to be your December host and curator, and today I'm here with Ghanaian artist Kingsley Kofi Deffor. Kingsley Kofi Deffor, popularly known as Deff Art, is an interdisciplinary artist who lives and again works in Ghana. He's primarily a painter and focuses a lot on the human form and energy, and is really inspired by artists, which we'll talk about more, such as Herbert Gentry and Jean-Michel Basquiat. He is activated by the hardworking people and the culture of his hometown, Anloga, because of their perseverance and their beauty that they contribute to society. Again, the main subjects of his artwork, which we'll talk more about, is people. And his process consists of figurative to abstract paintings on mixed media. His collaborations with a host of companies and individuals. Some include Addidas Ghana, Addidas, Acrilex Ghana, Harley Davidson Accra, the Embassy of Mexico, also Orca Deco Ghana. He's a muralist who's participated in multiple street festivals across Ghana. And it's really great to be with you here today, way overseas, but connected by technology. Good to see you, Kingsley.
Good to see you too, Janice Bond.
Yeah, that's, well, before we get into everything, technical, a lot of people are just getting to know you for the first time. Like, this is their first intro. So why don't we start with who is Kingsley? Who are you?
Kingsley Kofi Deffor is one of the young artists in Ghana who's trying to make art, to beautify the place with art, and then make people room fine with art, and then changes people's life with art. Because I teach young ones how to do art. So I add impact into children's life, children who wants to do art. I give them the chance to come and learn with me. So this is Kingsley Kofi Deffor.
Yeah, thank you. So you say that you're working with youth and beautifying. I hear beautifying the community, the world. What do you believe for you is the most integral part, or the most important part of being an artist? What is the most important part of being an artist to you?
The most important part of being an artist is, as an artist, you need to be free. You need to have your own liberty, your comfort zone to free your mind and free your soul and bring out what is the best for the people to like. Art is like music. It is not everyone that's like your style. Some people will like your style, and some people won't like your style. So art is like that. People will enjoy your style, and some will also not enjoy your style.
But it's important to, which I hear you talk a lot about in our conversations, about being authentic and true to yourself and your creative spirit. how are you able to maintain your authenticity, like stay true to your form, to your art, when you're working with these larger brands like, Adidas or the municipality government? Like, how do you stay focused on your truth in those moments?
Yeah, I make sure when I've been commissioned a job by these big companies in Ghana, I make sure I execute it very well. I make sure I take my time, I deal with it, I do it very well and fine. And I make sure I also put them on my social media pages because whenever you do an artwork on the street or you do an artwork on a canvas, it is not about the money. It's about where the work is going. It's about
Mhm,
where your work is.
mhm,
Who is coming to see the next person to see your work and go like, wow, this is beautiful. Who did that? And that is where you keep going. You keep going. You keep going gradually. You keep going. And then knowing how to talk to your people, know how to talk to your customers even when something is not right and it's wrong, you don't need to rush. You need to cool it. Know how to talk to your customer. Know how to talk to these people. And then you keep going. You keep going. You keep growing. That's it.
I love that. Like, one thing that I want to pull out is, like you said, even when something isn't going well or how you imagine, don't rush to try to fix it, to cool it,
Yeah. You need to
and that's
cool it.
something that I really align with a lot, because a lot of times, what I've witnessed with artists or just in general, something isn't going well, or to a part of the process, frustrated, or you're so, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of anxiety. You don't want the client or someone to be displeased. And so there's a rush to try to satisfy whatever the challenge is. But, I do believe, like you, it's like, just take a moment, take a beat, to really see what's going on, and then figure out how you want to move forward in the process in your best light. So, thank you for that. But I want to take it back a bit, because, going back to, who you are, one of the things that, interested me the most in some of our first conversations was, was your journey as an artist. And I'd like to talk a bit about journey, like with your family, your parents, and
Yeah.
how you started to get into art, as a, not even as a hobby, but as a passion, and then a profession. So, talk to me a bit about when you were younger, and how you saw creative things and how it led to you to now.
Yeah. I was born with it. As growing up as a youth, I realized that I can draw very well. I can sing very well. So my papa used to buy me color pencils and draw sketch pads. My mama, she used to beat me to stop drawing. I
Mhm.
have suffered a lot from people who want me to stop doing art. They want me to stop doing art and to do something else, especially my aunties, my mom's sisters. I I grew up very well with art. I never give up on what they want me to stop doing it because it is my passion. I I can I can forget about food and stick with art.
Mm.
I can stay long without eating, but and I can enjoy art. Art is like a food to me. I can enjoy it better than eating food. So I've been doing this very long, very, very long. When I was growing up, I wasn't having money for it. I I don't sell paintings. I don't get contracts. I don't get job, but I still don't give up
Mhm.
because I know one day is just one day. One day an angel will visit you in the right direction. So I keep doing it. I keep focusing, doing it, and make sure I do it well. I had
Mhm.
people who try to convince me to stop it. Who people who used to say, you can make it. You need to stop doing this thing. You're going to be a street artist. You're not going to be a gallery artist. You're just going to be a random artist on the street. I was like, well, but I want to prove them wrong. So I keep working, focusing on where I want to take my art journey to. I want to make sure my art journey get to a higher level, a very higher level in life.
And you said that, and it's important that you keep mentioning, like, you, in all of the questions so far, it's like, focus, like focusing on, like, in your spirit, that it will be something, you knew that it was already something. It was already something.
Yeah, my spirit for art is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fear challenges. I don't fear competition. I don't fear competition, not at all. I don't fear high buildings. If like giving a commission to do a big wall, I am not afraid of it. Not at all. Not at all. I see them like something I can eat or drink. I'm not afraid of attacking a big building or attacking a big contract. No, not at all. My
No,
passion for it is very strong, very, very strong.
that's beautiful.
I have love art, so I know definitely artists also loving me. Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that. So when you think about your art from, let's say, even 10 years ago to now, what was the moment when you knew, or was it always like, I had to share my work outside of the continent, outside of Ghana? Like, when did you decide that that was something that you wanted to do?
I decided it a long time ago when I was 22 years. Now I am 37 years old now. I decided a long time ago, but I wasn't getting the right connection to people. But I realize it is God works in mysterious ways. Maybe when that chance will happen at the age of 23, you will not be able to handle it. You understand? You will not be able to handle it at age 23, but you will be able to handle it at age 37. Yes. So that is how it works. I was just taking my time. It will come. It will happen. And then now it has happened. I never knew I'll be selling my works outside the country, Houston, America. I never knew. Look, my first exhibition I had in Accra, Ghana, was at the Mix. It didn't go on well, but who knows? It didn't go well. But see, it is going on well in Houston, right?
Right, it
I
is.
I know it's going on well in Houston. And people in Ghana, they don't recognize me. And I don't know why, but I will be happy the time they realize that this is what we have. This is the guy we have. And we have to grab him. The time they realize I have been taken from them.
I hear you. It's one of those.
Sometimes yes, it's one of those things. Sometimes the things people refuse are the things they should choose.
Say that again. Say that again.
The things people refuse are the things they should choose. Yes, because the stone that the builders refused some time ago, it is a stone that they needed so badly, so badly. I said this to my sister. I told her, you don't believe in me. You don't believe in me, but the things people refuse are the things they should choose. Do you hear me? Hear what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like to think about sometimes when things align the way that we think they should or that they could in the beginning. A lot of it is divine timing, because whereas maybe something would like you said, if you were younger and certain things have moved a certain way, it may not have been
Yeah,
exactly in alignment with who you are at that time. But
yeah,
here you
yeah,
are, you've had more experience, you polished your craft, you have had more time to think about not just what you want to do or where, but who you are in the process. And what I've learned with a lot of artists, or just the world in general, is that there's a need to be very clear about not who you are and what you want to do all the time. I mean, not just what you want to do and where you want to do it, but who you are throughout that process, and building in mechanisms and values and community to support and sustaining that. Because the who is what takes care of the what and the where and the how and everything in
yeah.
between.
To me, I
Think
have no
about that.
support in life.
Mm-hmm.
I have no support in life. Nobody supports me. I I keep working hard because I know one day the sun will shine on me. I have no support in life. It is me and the Almighty. I really believe in God. I believe in where I started from, and I believe in where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Now. So I know with gradually things will work better in the future.
So speaking of spiritual connection, you have a few pieces behind you. I want to talk about, one of the most memorable parts of like the work, especially the work that's on view currently, Artist Bond, is the use of it's acrylic, but there is a use of fabric, found fabric, and newspaper integrated
Yeah.
into the work. So why don't you share a bit about like where did the use or the integration of the newspaper come from, and when did you decide that was going to be a part of like your work overall?
Yeah, I use newspapers, and the day I realized that newspaper is a thing I should use, as I told you earlier on, I told you the things people refuse are the things they should choose.
Mm,
I refuse the newspaper. I abandoned it. But not knowing the newspaper was going to be something unique for me.
hmm
So I went back to pick it up. I did a work with a newspaper. And after doing the work, oh, I was like, oh, this is not cool. It's not nice. But let me keep it. Maybe someone will come for it. So I took a
mm,
picture of it and I posted it on Instagram. And the moment I posted that picture on Instagram, within few hours, I've got like 100 likes with comments. Whoa, Deff, this is nice. Whoa, how much is this? And people asking me how much it is. And I was like, whoa, this thing that I thought is not okay, it is what people are liking.
mm,
So when I mentioned my price of it, and then they start going back until a man called Mr. Troy. Mr. Troy, he loved that work and he ordered for it. And I gave him my price and he really, really liked it. And he bought it. I shipped it by DHL for him. And that is the,
mm-hmm,
the work he really loves the most, the newspaper. I am a type, I can't read too much. So when you give me newspaper or any other thing to read, when I keep reading, I keep sleeping. If I read, I sleep. So if I want to sleep, I have to take something to read to be able to sleep. I can't read a whole paragraph. It will take me like time to read. Reading is a lazy part of life for me. So I had a dream. I had a dream with an old man that I was reading a newspaper and he was like, you can't read. Give it to me. Give the newspaper to me. Let me go read it. What are you doing with the newspaper? Go and paint. You can't read. Go and do something else. And then I gave the newspaper to him. But then I realized in the dream, I realized that after giving him the newspaper, I realized that no, I've given this man something big that I don't have to give it to him. So I went back to pick it up and I used the newspaper in doing art in the process, in the dream. So that was where
mm,
I found I found my newspaper thing. Then I was looking for a style, a unique style to use, because people are always using the new way, different ways. So I was looking for a new style until I had a dream about the newspaper, and then I went for it. So I think the newspaper has helped me a lot. It has helped me a lot.
A lot of layers to that. Um, I think about different writers and even filmmakers, but people all different mediums. Over the years, you hear about different people bringing in different elements from dreams or spiritual experiences into their work.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's also because of how you were reintroduced to the idea of newspaper in your work. I also feel like that's what also has made it so organic, playing into the background of your work. So it's there, and sometimes you see little placements. It becomes part of the work. It's not just the background, which I
Yeah.
find really
I like I
exciting.
like I like the effect of the newspaper. It is something you can read, but sometimes you read it upside down. And then
Hmm.
sometimes you read it and then you can't finish it because there are some parts is torn. I just
Hmm.
peel off some parts. And then you'll be reading and then you end up you get stuck and then you can't read, you can't continue. That is my life. When I'm reading, there are some sentences I see, there are some words I see, they are very strong enough for me to mention. I can't mention
Hmm.
it and then I quit. I quit at the process and then I continue. I continue. So that is the whole story about the newspaper.
Well, you're very determined, there. So, but speaking of dreams, what would be now, again, you've worked with municipality, you've worked with different brands. What is your dream project? Like, if, no matter what, like if you had a dream project, what would it be? Or what is it?
My dream project is for me as an African Ghanaian. I want to be given a big wall in America to do a
Mm.
fine African African connection graffiti in America, in any part of America. That is my dream. I want to show the world what art is made, what art can bring to the society.
So having a large mural somewhere in in the United States and showing the connection between Ghana and the US, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Good.
want to have a nice mirror in the streets of America, like a big wall in America. I wish that day will come to pass.
Well, I see that happening sooner than later. So,
If it,
inshallah, we'll see.
yeah,
So let's talk about your everyday a little bit. How are you like how is your studio like? A studio every day? Like how do you structure your time to make? Because you really do spend a lot of time researching and structuring each piece. So how do you structure your week or day?
I work every day. I like to work every time, every day, no holiday for me. Because each and every time I think art. So anything I think from my head, I like to bring it out. I'm always thinking
Mhm.
about a new work, new piece, new piece in my head. So I like working all the time. I wish I could have a studio that is close to where I sleep, that is close to my house. So whenever I wake up from bed, I can go and paint. If I wake up, if I am even in a shower, I can come out from the shower and go and paint and then go back to the shower again.
No, I mean,
I
I
like
get
working
it.
all the time.
You like living in your work, working, constantly.
Yes,
Um,
yes. I like
what,
living
what is
around my work.
well, is you
To be
have some
honest,
beautiful pieces around you. So, but what are you working
yeah.
on right now?
I just finished. I just finished doing this.
Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit about this one?
This one is a
Hmm.
story about a lady who wants to give a beautiful flowers to her boyfriend.
Is it someone you know, or is it these narratives of people from conversation, or is it you both with your artwork?
No, it is a lady I know, a lady who was turned down by a man.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, you did mention to me
She
once that women are a lot of the focus of your artwork. Can you talk a bit about
yes,
the exploration of
yes.
like
Women,
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 mother? Mm-hmm.
women are very powerful. Women are very powerful in part of our life, in part of
Mm-hmm.
the life of a man. And they always say, in every successful man, there is a woman. There is no a woman. There is a good woman. If you have a good woman in life, you move. A man will move on forward in his life. If you have a bad woman in life, a man will always fall down in his life. You understand? My mom, my mom is a good woman. She took me and my brothers away from the slum, and then she brought us up at a good place where we can find our talent.
Mm-hmm.
My talent will never be found if my mom decided to leave me at where my dad took me. Like my talent, I would never find my talent. But as soon as my mom brought me to where she's living, my mom and my dad, they are no more. They had some issues, so they are no more. Yeah. So my dad took us somewhere, and we were living just a random life. So my mom decided to pick us close to her side. So she took us to her side, and then I got a chance to go to an art school in Ghana. You see, if my mom
Mm-hmm.
did not pick me up, I will not get a chance to go to an art school.
Absolutely. I mean, thinking about education versus, lived or alongside lived experience. How do you feel going to art school in Ghana changed your life? Like, what started to really come together there for you?
Uh, Going to an art school in Ghana has really changed my life. I like it. It is cool. You you feel the vibe of African art. You understand? African art is different from European art and then outside art of the world. You meet different artists in your class. You know that
Mm-hmm.
you are not the only unique person in the class. Each and everyone has his own style in class, and then you learn
Mm-hmm.
from others. So fine, going to an art school in Africa, in Ghana, is cool. I would really love to go to an art school outside the country, though, if I have the chance. If I have the chance, I really love to go to an art school outside the
Where?
world, so that in America, in America,
Okay.
in America, because I really want to teach some people a little thing I also know. I really want to. I really want to teach people in America, especially black people in America, the little thing I also know about art.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hard way about art, and then the soft way about art.
The hard way about art and the soft way about art. Is that what you just said,
Yeah,
right? Tell
yes,
me a
that's
bit
what I just
about,
said.
yeah, tell me a bit about the soft way. What is the soft way?
Okay, the soft way, it is when you have everything on your table. You have your paints, everything. You don't suffer to get materials. That is a soft way. You don't suffer. It has been made already for you. You don't
Mm,
suffer. You don't suffer to get your materials at all. And then the hard way, it is when you struggle a lot. You struggle a lot to buy your materials, to paint. You don't have money. You have to go and do other jobs to get cash to go and buy materials to come and paint and then make money. You understand?
mm.
The software is when you do a painting and then you easily sell it and then you easily make money. The hard way, it is when you do a painting within 2, 3, 4 months, even a year, and nobody has come for it. You see?
Mm.
and that is where I have come from. I have a work that is still with me for 2 years, and nobody has come for it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hard way. This is the work. That is the work. You see that work?
Mm-hmm. I do. Tell me a bit
Yes,
about
it's
that
been
piece.
with me for that piece is racism. Is a piece where blacks and whites we should come together to be as one.
It's a bit different. The technique of this particular piece is different
Yes,
from the work that you're doing now.
yes,
So that one was 2 years ago.
yes,
Would you say, do
yes. That
you
was
still paint in this process, or is the work that you're doing now like that's pretty much your standard now?
yes. The work I'm doing now, the newspaper work is my standard now.
Mm, okay. What
The
is
work
the
I
best?
just showed you,
Oh no, go
the work
ahead.
I just showed you, the work I just showed you was made from graffiti from the spray cans. I use the spray cans and I use the airbrush.
Okay.
Yes. But now I don't do such works anymore.
Okay.
Now I do the newspaper and the acrylic paint and then the puff paint.
Well, what I will say is, and anyone who's watching now, listening, you're welcome to, ask questions. I'll continue, but happy to weave some in. One of the things I love about the current iteration of your work is, like you said, the different texture, the newspaper, the acrylic, the puff paint. It really, sometimes it's difficult to see digitally, but it really does create a beautiful dimension to the work. And that texture
Yeah.
is something that I really believe brings a very specific type of energy to the work. So tell me how people you capture a lot of people. A lot of work it now is portraits. Tell me how you meet some of these people, or do they sit for you? Do you take a picture? Is it free? How do they become part of your work?
So each and every time I do my work, I really put it on Instagram. I have a strong Instagram page. I handle it myself. Each and every time I post my work out there. I used to tag people. I tag the diaspora. I tag the black art people for a lot of people to see my works and how it goes. I make sure I go to exhibitions whenever there is exhibition in Accra. I make sure I go. I share some of my work to some people who really want to see, who really want to know me, and then that is all. It moves on bit by bit.
For sure. But in the subjects that are in your work, like the people that you do portraits of, how do you find them?
Uh,
Are they just people? Yeah.
yeah, I don't find them. Sometimes when I go to places like exhibition, parties, when I go to
Mm,
places where there are a lot of people, I used to take random photos. I just used to
okay.
take photos. I just see a lot of people, then I take photos of them. So when I come
Okay.
to studio and I'm alone at the studio, I go through the photos and then I pick up some images and some pose, some images that are fine with me, and then I paint them.
Great. Okay. So, all right, we have a question from the audience.
I have a painting. I have a pose from you. I went through your page. I have a pose from you that I want to paint.
Okay, I cannot wait to see this. That would be such an honor. But it's well, the thing is that it's I've been a subject or muse or co-creator, however you want to say it, for a number of works. Most recently, a mural in Houston, and it's I think it's such an honor. Yes, you have the image and it's shared or whatever, but I think the most significant part is that someone is spending time really seeing you. They're spending time. They look at your eyes, they look at your mouth, they're really looking at you. And we look at people so passively every day. Oh, you look nice. Oh, this or that. You're having a conversation. And there's so many distractions. But when an artist is really doing a portrait, it's so, and I would see even in movies when I was younger, some of my favorite scenes from movies. One of them was like Eve's Bayou. Just I remember the gentleman was making a portrait of Eve's aunt, and it was so intimate because she was sitting there. She had to sit still. It was pre-digital, and it was just a time that they had together. But even when you're not with the artist, again, it's just that intimacy and that time that they spend with your likeness and your energy. I find to be interesting. The question that the member has is like they mentioned that they want to hear about hip hop and if you have aspirations of creating music of your own. How has hip hop influenced you, and do you have any aspirations of creating music of your own?
My favorite part of music is the romantic song and reggae song. I love hip hop. I love doing hip hop with graffiti. When I'm doing graffiti, I love playing hip hop song. When I'm with my canvas, I love playing reggae music or romantic song. It puts me in the work. Hip hop has been my thing from childhood. I love the hip hop
Mm-hmm.
style. 50 Cent, Ja Rule, Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, Notorious B.I.G. I love hip hop. I love playing hip hop music. When I want to go rough, I love playing hip hop. Hip hop is a rough style.
Well, I suppose when you're doing like, the murals, things like that, having that energy, having that, some of that grit,
Hip
it
hop,
propels. Yeah,
yeah. Hip hop give me the energy on the street. When I'm doing the street work, hip hop give me the energy,
I love it.
especially 50 Cent. I love playing 50 Cent a
Yeah.
lot, especially when I'm driving. When I'm driving, I want to show off a bit. I love playing 50 Cent.
Any particular
Is
song?
I know you love my style. Uh-huh. You get all you show me how. Uh-huh.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, I think every artist, I mean, that's the thing. I love the integration of music into visual art. And I
Yeah,
remember, yeah,
music is like art. Music is just like art. Music is just like art.
it becomes part of the
Music is just
conversation.
like yeah.
Yeah.
Music is just like art. It is
Another
is is
question.
it is a way. Art is the way you like and I don't like. Music is
Mm,
also the same. Is the way you like and I don't like. Maybe I like Burna Boy. Maybe you don't like Burna Boy. You like Whiskey. You understand?
okay. Hmm.
Yes. Maybe I like Stoneboy. Maybe you don't like Stoneboy. Maybe you like Shatawale. You understand?
And I think all of that is important because I like Burna Boy for one moment or like one particular mode that I'm in, and not another. Like I remember there's certain albums or music that I listen to in the morning when I get ready versus the music I listen to when I'm like sending emails or like doing work. Some work when I'm like doing things more physical, I can't listen to when I'm trying to read or be more analytical because I get distracted. But
Yeah.
again, music
Now
is a great.
Burna Boy is everyone's favorite now.
Mm, yeah, a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
Another question is what is the best piece of advice as an artist, or as a person, that you've been given so far?
That someone gave to me.
Yeah, yeah, that someone shared with
I,
you. Hmm.
I was told, I was told by a musician in Ghana. Is one of my good friend. He
Hmm.
said to me, "Hey, Deff, I went to his house and I saw a fine car, Mercedes Benz, a fine car, dearly to my heart. When I make money, I'm going to get one." And he said to me, "Hey, Deff, stop watching. This is just things in the world. Work hard and it will come to pass."
Work hard and it will come to pass. And can you say the
He
first part
told me,
again? It's like, these are just things.
yes, he says it's just things for the world. It's just things in the world. You have to work hard for it. So work hard and it will come to pass.
Mm.
Do you know the musician?
What?
Do you know the musician who said that to me?
Who said it?
Stoneboy.
Huh.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's the truth, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about, when you're speaking
Yes.
about a
Yes.
car, when you're talking about a
Yes.
car or materialistic things, you know,
Yes. They are
they're a
materialistic
lot
things.
easier. Yeah, the materialistic things, they're a lot easier to get than people think. I mean, and of course, we're talking about variations in circumstance and everything like that. But my mom has a saying that has stuck with me for a really long time, and this could be for whether it's materialistic or business or relationship. It's like, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. You know,
Yes. It is what you keep. It's what you keep.
you can
Yes.
make tons of money. You could have tons of relationships and homes and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
what? It's not what you make.
Money. Yes. I used to tell people money is important. Money is important. But friendship, good friendship is better than money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Well, I mean,
friendship is better than money.
well, just keeping going on with like some of the things that have come across my path or anecdotes. It's like, I feel like I read it recently, or listened to something, and it was like, money can only fix problems that money can fix. So, example, if you're bad with money, or if you're a dishonest person, or if you're bad with time or time management or taking care of yourself, having more money won't fix the mentality that created the problem. It may pay a bill, it may, move you to the front, you may be able to get the materials quicker. But if your work ethic is terrible as an artist, you can have a fully equipped
One
studio,
day,
everything you need at your disposal,
yes, yes. You
but
can
it
have
doesn't mean
you
that
can
you
have
make it better.
equipment, you can have materials, you can work. If you have life is important than money. If you have good life, good health, you can make a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money. Money can never save you from the judgment of Christ. You understand? Money
Mm-hmm.
can never save you from the judgment of Christ. You can have a lot of money, but it will never save you from other things. If you die, you will die. Money cannot save you from death. You will die, and you leave all the money. If one day I sell a lot of pieces and I make money, I'm going to celebrate with the orphans, with children who don't have anything in life.
Mm.
I'm going to celebrate and enjoy with them. I'm
There's, I
going to
mean, that
build.
sounds beautiful.
I'm going to build a big studio that has a lot of children for the new generation of art. A lot of children keep painting and drawing. That is all I want to see. I want to see joy on people's faces by drawing and painting. by doing art. I think it's the
That's,
best for me.
I mean, I think it's, I'm listening to you, and it's something that is really close to my heart too. One of the things that I love seeing now, there's digital technology films and everything like that. But one of the things I still think is so when you see a child or a person make something, and I feel very strong that you don't have to be a professional artist to decide that you want to make. You can make even if you don't decide to pursue art professionally. Like everyone has something creative in them, and it's when someone is satisfying that part of themselves. Also you meet people and when they're denying it. Oh, I'm not an artist, so I won't make anything. Well, if you want to make something, if you want to draw, even if you're bad at it comparatively, I feel like you should just do it. But I love speaking of the children, I love seeing children make things. I love it when they try, and I
Yeah,
love it when
me
they
too.
make it their way. They make it their way. It may be
Yes,
a
yes,
animal, but like
yes.
purple and blue, and have
Blue.
color.
Yes, they make a
They
big
don't care.
nose. They make a big nose and they make a big eyes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love to
yeah.
see
They don't
children
care. They don't
splashing.
care. You know.
I love to see them splashing colors on their body. I love to see that.
Yeah, and it's a learned behavior for us to say, don't do that, don't make a mess, don't get paint here, don't, you know, and they're like, look, I'm just trying to do something here, I'm just having an experience. I think that that's something that, if you're blessed enough to tap back into that energy as an adult, it's a beautiful thing for you. Another question we have, and we only have a few left, and thank you so much for spending time with me today, and also, the Adama family. When you're making a big decision, how do you decide when it's the right thing to do, or like that is the right thing to do, like when you're making a big decision?
If I have to make a decision, I sit down and think about it twice. I am a strong person in spirit, very strong. I see I see the future from far before it comes to me. So when I want to make a decision, I take my time to make a decision. I make sure I make a good decision because this decision I'm coming to make, it is not now. It is for the future.
Mm-hmm.
The decision is for the future, not now. So I make sure I do a good decision. I sit, I think about it twice before I make the decision.
That stillness. Yeah, stillness and reflection is imperative. What are you doing to ensure that you continue to grow and develop as an artist?
What do I do? I keep working.
Mm-hmm.
I keep working. I don't stop working. I keep working
Keep
all the time.
working. Keep thinking.
Yeah, keep working. Work all the time. I keep working and then keep keeping my pieces because they are my pieces are my soul, my my benefit.
Mm-hmm.
They are what I reap. They are what I reap. So one day you sow what you reap. So I'm sowing my pieces. One day I'll reap them bit by bit. My pieces are my life. So I keep working. Work all the time. I keep
Well,
working
you
till I
work.
die.
Well, you do work a lot, and like you said, you're in the studio every day. But
Every
how do
day.
every single day? I mean, you're in the studio right now, but
I'm in the
how do
studio right
you?
now.
Right, right. But how do you care for yourself in order to keep going? What keeps you
I,
healthy while you're doing all of these things? Because you may work all the time, but also are a human being. So how are you
I,
caring
I
for
have I have
yourself?
I have time for human beings. I have some days I used to go to the beach and sit down,
Mm.
very quiet, feel the sea breeze, and then have some wine, some drink, and then think about my life, where I'm going, the direction I'm going. So I have time for myself. I have time for people, other people too. If you don't see me doing art, you see me with my artist friends. I wake up
Mm.
sometimes in the morning and I go jogging. I do exercising. I play football every Saturday morning. I play football every
Okay.
Saturday morning. I like soccer, so I play soccer every Saturday morning. As you can see, I'm in my jersey. I'm in my Ghana jersey. I play soccer
Absolutely. I
every
mean, I know that right now you're sacrificing a little World Cup time to have this chat, but I, I appreciate that. Well, just last two questions, I suppose. Um, you know, are there artists that have inspired you from Ghana that you want to
Yes,
share? Yeah, or the continent. Name a couple of those artists. Like, who's inspired you?
yes. His name is Raphael Ajete Ajeme. He's called Ram. Then he was called Ram, but now he changes from Ram to Afutumix. If
Mm-hmm.
he is Afutumix on Instagram, social media, he inspired me a lot. Yesterday, I went to an exhibition of Amwaku Buafu, and I met him over there. Yeah, he inspired me a lot. Ram. He always he always tells me things to do in art and things not to do in art. He sometimes tell me to move in this direction, not to move in this direction. When I see his work as growing up as a youth, anytime I see his work, I I have to jump. I have to jump up for my spirit. My spirit jump from a different level to a different level. When I see his works, anytime I go to his studios and I see his works, I feel joy. I feel peace. I
Mm.
feel happiness. Yes, he inspired me a lot,
Isn't
a
it
lot when it
great?
comes to art.
I love that. I love, and I think that you were taught you going back to what you said earlier about not being concerned. I'm paraphrasing here, or intimidated, or feeling like competition, but really being focused on your work. I feel like that focus and that determination and that strength of spirit is also what allows you, or would allow an artist to be inspired by other great artists. To see a Mako show, to see other Ghanaian artists or artists on the continent or around the world, and feel joyful when you see their skill, when you see their expertise, when you see their evolution. A lot of it, I believe, is rooted in your ability to trust yourself and your process, and trust your evolution. Otherwise, that it could seed a lot of self doubt and intimidation, which we also see, in the art world, unfortunately. So, it's beautiful that you're having those experiences. The last question I have for you now, outside of just making sure people are able to stay connected with you, and I'll share a little bit about the show. Um, what would you say or offer as advice to, say, the 20-year-old, Kingsley, or 20-year-old artist that is watching this or looking at your profiles? What advice would you give them in their current position right now if they're considering their work or thinking through it?
If if any young person, if any young artist, either female or male, is 20 years in his 20 years painting like me, doing art like me, I want to tell you there's only one thing, two things I want to tell you in life. Never give up, never ever
Mm.
give up in whatever you're doing, and respect every person. Learn how to talk. Learn how to talk to every person. Learn how to talk to every person. Respect and never give up. Keep working and hope for a better day. You will make it. You will surely make it.
Well, I
Keep
mean,
doing
I
art.
think well, I'm inspired personally, almost
Thank you.
speechless, almost.
Thank you.
No, I really, um, no, thank you for that because, it makes me think a lot of, just makes me think, being respectful. You can have your craft,
Yeah.
but respect every person. Think always
Yes.
bringing it back to the
Yes.
humanity, bringing it back to the spirit, bringing back to community. And that is so important. And that's also why spaces like this are so important. Because of course we have a great relationship, I show your work, etc. But this is a rare opportunity even for myself to get to know more about some nuances of who you are as a person and being able to share that with the world. And so it's beautiful, for that opportunity to exist. And so, I want to thank Adama, Fahamu, Dr. Famapiku, the board, staff, everyone that's been a part of this series, not just this year, but from its inception in 2020. As I in my first interview with Don, you've been, an inspiration not just to bear witness to, but also be a part of, and looking forward to future conversations. Kingsley Kofi Deffor, his show, his inaugural U.S. exhibition is on view at Artist Bond, which is located in Houston, Texas. And tell people how they can reach you on Instagram, Kingsley.
My Instagram page. I have two Instagram page. I have one
Mm-hmm.
for graffiti and I have one for canvas paintings. So my
Mm-hmm.
graffiti page is Deff Art GH. That is DEFFARTGH. And then my canvas pages is Kingsley Deffor. KINGSLEYDEFFOR. And thanks to Adama for having me. Thanks to the whole America for having my pieces hung up over there. Great thanks to you yourself, and great thanks to Mr. Troy for letting.
Well, and on that note, I see this many more things to come. Some will be announcing in the new year. And,
Yeah,
you've been doing this for many years, but you're just getting started. Thank you to everyone in your support of Adama. To view more of these interviews or get to know more about Adama, visit www.adamatl.org. Thank you for joining us for today's art salon, and we'll see you in the new year.
yeah. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas.